Hey y'all, I'm here with Alex Merced, who's running for vice chair of the Libertarian Party, and Joshua Smith, who is running for chair of the Libertarian Party, and we are being graciously hosted by Mr. Adam Kokesh in No Force One, and so we'll just get right into our conversation. How about it? So you guys are basically a team, correct? You're running as
basically, we were both endorsed by the Mises Caucus. We're good friends, so we've been basically at the same convention. So we're working together to reach Libertarian Party delegates and make the case.
Yeah, I endorsed Alex the day he announced, and I call him about once a week and try and get him to endorse me. But
so what made you decide to team up? Just your friendship, or do you think your ideals go together?
Well, originally when Josh made the announcement that he was or told me he was going to run, I actually hadn't made it. Actually, wasn't even thinking about running for vice chair. So I was like, okay, you're my buddy. I'll definitely vote your way because he's a friend of mine. And then I ended up running for vice chair. So basically,
he was pushed to run for vice chair.
Yeah, no, a lot of different people from within the party reached out to me and said, Alex, we'd like you to run for vice chair. It wasn't actually something I was planning or something I was looking to do, but people expressed a faith in me that I felt that I should honor, and I've grown to, as I've met people within the party, as I've learned more about the inner workings and everything, it's become quite personal for me to see this through and to see the party reach the potential that it can. So it's been one of those things where at first people had to give me a little push, but now I'm 100% in, I'm all in, and I'm here to see the Libertarian Party through wherever that is.
Great. So a question specifically for you, Josh, is we all know, of course, Nick Sarwark is your biggest competition. There are other candidates. So we know that he's a lawyer and, has a lot of experience under his belt as far as being the chair. So what is it that you think you bring to the table that's different and that qualifies you to be a better chair?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I bring grassroots activism back to the party. I think I've said it several times. I think the national leadership of this party has forgot about the ground up structure that it was built on and the grassroots activism that has made us relevant at all. And so I believe that getting away from that apathetic kind of feeling towards our causes and really putting passion back into liberty is something that I bring to the table, and it's something that I'll continue to do whether I win chair or not.
So what is it that you think is maybe the main issue that kind of sticks in your craw with the party as it is today, and what do you plan to do about it? Yeah,
I think we don't enable our activists enough, our candidates, our local and state leaders. I think that the LNC should exist for our candidates. I mean, we need to build a solid base for our candidates, a platform for them, and give them resources that they, our candidates, most of the time when they run, they've never run before. They don't know what they're doing, but they're passionate, they know the message, and they want to get out there and give it to the public. So we need to give them the help that they need by giving them educational tools. I've talked a lot about wanting to instill something along the lines of Libertarian Leadership Academy, where we can give them clear and concise videos on how to door knock and get volunteers and raise funds and all the stuff that most people don't know how to do when they're running. So I think that's one of the biggest things. And then obviously, build coalitions, bring new people into the party, better our financial situation. We really need to. We're running a $60,000 deficit in the party of fiscal responsibility. So, we really need to work on a lot of things, but I think that, the activists and the candidates and helping to enable them to be more successful should be the number one focus of the LNC.
Great. So, Alex, you are, of course, running for vice chair, and so what does that job entail, and how do you think that you can support that?
Now, the job description of the vice chair is mainly to support the chair. So basically, if the chair can't run a meeting, they run a meeting. If the chair needs the vice chair to delegate some authority to, they can delegate that authority to. That's the job description. But when you are the vice chair, there's a lot more you can do in facilitating, because you are a voting member on the LNC. And the LNC really, again, as Josh was talking about, needs to support state affiliates and candidates. And they do that by either contributing funds to help ballot access in the states, through technology. Like right now, the LNC is taking on the CRM project, Customer Relationship Manager. I keep telling anyone who's willing to listen to it, they should go to lp.org/CRM to learn about this project. It's going to make a big difference in how state affiliates can share information between campaign to campaign. That and press. So the LNC recently hired someone to basically full-time do press and PR. But on top of that, as vice chair, I want to keep making sure that we stay focused on that. So one of the things I've done, I'm now part of the LNC, not as vice chair right now, but as Region 8 Ultranet, which was formerly Larry Sharp's spot. Basically, what I've started doing is workshopping a proposal for an outreach committee, and a committee that basically identifies people we can start a coalition with, and tries to identify expert areas in those areas, and just trying to get the wording down through an open process, not just having workshopping it with my fellow LNC members, but also putting out there in different Libertarian Party groups, so that way the whole party can help find wording and develop a proposal that everyone can get behind. But also, one of the things that I think I bring to the table is the ability to de-escalate situations. Oftentimes there are tense situations within the party, whether it's on the LNC itself or between different factions within the party. I'm someone who I think I get along pretty well with all the different factions, and I always am looking to de-escalate tension where it exists, so that way we can focus on work.
That's why we're such a good balance, because he's the nice guy and I'm the really nice.
Yeah, and I know that you have the positivity caucus, and that you're generally known as like a really nice guy, which I appreciate. But that was going to be my next question for you is, as a leader, sometimes you can't just make people happy and be nice. So how do you plan to implement nicety as a strategy for actual leadership?
It's the main thing is to always first focus on when there's tension, when there's conflict. The first thing is to focus on is what is the intention of the two parties there. Now again, what I can do is act as a mediator and just help the two people communicate. It's not necessarily saying which one's wrong, one's right. Now in situations where I have to make a decision, I have to make a decision, and it'll be made. And no matter how nice or how good you try to be, at the end of any period of leadership, there's going to be people who don't like you. So I am fully aware that being vice chair, regardless of what happens, there will be people who do not like me afterwards. And this is one of the things, I always say about Nick. Like a lot of people have, Nick runs a good meeting. He's been involved with a lot of different things over the years. But over the years, he's had to make decisions. And as he's made decisions, people who are for or against him have built up, and that's why you need changes in leadership periodically, so that way people can start anew. So eventually, if I'm vice chair, there'll be a time where basically they'll need a new vice chair, because I'll have made decisions, and people will have one side or the other side. But that's just the natural evolution of leadership. But I'm going to try as best as I can to keep everyone on the same page and focus on what moves the party forward.
Great. Okay. And for you, Josh, you were talking about having, being an advocate for the candidates of the party and providing them with educational materials on how to run a campaign. But how about consistency of message?
Yeah, I think it's
what would you do to make sure that we have actual libertarian candidates and not what we've been accused of, and often are Republican-like candidates that don't really understand the underlying philosophy? So how would you help that?
Well, I think that's a state's issue, right? So that's a state. The states pick their candidates in a primary, some of them, unless it's a top two state or they don't have anybody else running. At the end of the day, I believe if somebody's a member, they subscribe to the non-aggression principle, and they're running to help out the party, then they should run. But I talked about this with Larry quite a bit. I initially thought that our goal of 2,000 candidates across the country was a good idea. I really did. But now, the more I think about it, the more I would like to see solid candidates with the solid message of liberty that are going to go out and try and change public policy. So I really think that's a state's issue. I don't think that's for the chair to decide for the state parties. As far as federal candidates go, I have to support what the delegation wants. So it's not something that I have a say in, unfortunately.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you guys doing this interview with me. I know it was off the cuff and last minute, so I do appreciate it. Just one last question for you guys. What is your vision separately, and maybe your vision as a team going forward for the Libertarian Party?
Well, I think our vision is in line. I think we have a lot of the same goals. I know he wants to work on the unity stuff a lot more than I do, which I think is wonderful. It's something that we need to do. And I really want to just focus on growing our activism. And so, but I think the majority of our goals, is to change, public policy and move the liberty needle, and we have a very similar view and vision for the party. I don't know. What do you think, Alex?
I mean, one of the things that I'm always trying to do is I never tell people how they should do things. I always try to show it by example. And one of the things that I really want to get across through leadership is listening, the value of listening. So I've been spending a lot of my time talking to chairs, talking to caucus chairs, and just trying to listen to what their thoughts are on the party, on how the LNC is doing, how candidates are doing, just to show, one, so that way I can be a better leader for the party, but two, also to be an example of the kind of approach that I think can help grow the party. And basically, it's not that everyone shouldn't have their own views, but if we all listen to each other more, and we all hear each other more, we can find consensus much quicker, and also realize that our differences are a lot less than sometimes they seem they are.
I guess a little How to Win Friends and Influence People Never Hurt Anybody, right?
Correct. One of the greatest books ever written.
Thank you guys so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all. See you next time.